What's the most personal thing you're willing to share with us? Ever since I've become physically disabled, I feel like a huge burden on everyone in my life. If I weren't married, I'd just kill myself. My family wouldn't have to support me, and I wouldn't have to be in constant pain, missing my functioning body and ability to work. I literally miss being able to work retail, and retail is a special hell of its own lol. I'm still in my 20s and can barely walk even with my cane some days. I spent 23 years of my life in constant movement doing physical jobs, hobbies, everything. And now I have to relearn life without that. Oh, and in its place crippling pain. Plus, you lose so many people. At first people are nice and even supportive, but then they see you aren't improving. You're a bummer to hang out with. And it's a pain to have to plan around stairs and standing too long. And seating options. People talk to you in a weirdly condescending way, like you're a slightly dumb child everyone pities. I can't support myself and help my family like I used to. My old life is as gone as my shitty body. I hate my body so much sometimes it feels like an Iron Maiden around me. I just want one day without pain. But it won't happen. The only way to escape this pain would be to die. But then I'd be passing that pain to my spouse and family. And that's shitty too. So I'm stuck. I'm trying to find something in the ashes of my life to start anew. But it's so hard when I'm already physically weak and mentally fucked. I just don't know what to do anymore. I found out my mom's cancer has spread to her bones today. I just want to make sure she's able to keep as much comfort and dignity as she can with the time she may have left. Edit. I really am overwhelmed by all the kind words everyone has sent me. There's been so much good advice. You've not only helped me feel better about my mom, you've also helped me feel encouraged that kindness still exists in the midst of all this darkness, and that there's a lot of us going through the same stuff. Hug the ones you love and don't be afraid to be kind. There's a decent chance I may have multiple sclerosis. I've been having mild problems with balance, coordination and hand tremors for 6 months or so. Won't know much more until I see my neurologist again. Edit. Hey everyone. This post got way more popular than I expected. Big thanks to everyone for the support and suggestions. Really appreciate it. Here's more info. Saw a neurologist for first visit. I'll go back in 2 weeks. Among blood tests they did, Anna was negative. C-reactive protein was mildly elevated at 5.8 milligrams per liter. B12 normal. Vitamin D barely low, but I'm correcting that. Brain MRI report mentions no lesions. But I have substantial belief I found something the radiologist overlooked and plan to discuss it with my doctor at next visit. Understanding the anatomy right, I believe there to be a substantial dark lesion and nearby enhancement from contrast in my left cerebellum peduncle, near the brainstem hemisphere if anyone's curious. It's posted here. https i.imager.com/wiki72b8jpg. I don't believe that can be explained by normal anatomy. But I'm not a doctor. I do have visual symptoms. My night vision is a bit degraded. I notice blurriness, especially around lights. I seem to have normal vision during daytime. Not sure about color balance, or if one eye is worse than the other. Had a nuclear scan of dopamine centers to rule out Parkinson's. It was negative. Even if I'm right and what I found is a lesion, it's only one lesion and I know the diagnosis process can be complicated. Neurologist is going to do CSF analysis and peripheral nerve studies as well. It may be a while before I get a formal diagnosis, if it is indeed MS. This is small fish compared to a lot of you. But I recently started trying to teach myself piano. I'm terrible but getting better. I don't want to tell anyone because I get major anxiety and can't perform. Haha, yes, sex jokes. When I'm put on the spot. I lost my job yesterday. I got PTSD last year from seeing my father get murdered. I'm afraid I'm gonna be stuck at my job for the rest of my life because I don't know what else I'm good at. It's not a bad job, but it doesn't really pay great and the hours are odd. It's not really something I want to be doing for too much longer, but I DK what else to do. I'm 3.5 years into the career I dreamed about as a child and I can't fucking stand it anymore. I have no backup plan and I feel guilty that so many people I cared about cheered me on to follow my dreams. Edit. The field is graphic design and I've just started working at my third company. What I am most struggling with is the work we are assigned to do is dull subject matter and all creativity is sucked out by client amendments. Throughout all the companies, the design team is villainized by the more client-facing roles and sales teams, with their team leaders often accusing us of insubordination for trying to uphold the brand guidelines. We work long, extra hours with no reimbursement or praise, and I'm really feeling the burnout. I sharted on a blanket and threw it away. I played dumb to my girlfriend for about a half a year while she was constantly puzzled as to what happened to the blanket every time we sat down on the couch to watch TV. I finally broke down and confessed. People ask why I'm single and I tell them because I'm too busy or have no time. But the truth is, I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. I always self-sabotage and do something wrong when I start seeing someone, and so it never really ends well all the time. I prefer to be alone since at least I don't get hurt. I don't tell my friends, but they are pretty much the biggest thing keeping my anxiety and depression at bay, and I really appreciate them for it. I'd like to tell them but don't know how to bring it up. I once dreamt I had sex with a biscuit, then got pregnant. Am male. Edit. Also in the dream the biscuit was male and I was female. Edit. It was an antic biscuit. I'm 31 and still have 2 baby teeth. I was evicted from my childhood home when I was 15. My mom couldn't keep the place up by herself after my brother moved out. She didn't know what to tell me, so she didn't. She had me take a bag with me when we went to my stepdad's for a weekend over the summer. A weekend turned into 2 weeks, turned into a month, and turned into the entire summer. Finally she told me what had happened, and because she didn't know how to tell me, she chose not to. I lost everything, and slept on stepdad's living room sofa for 2.5 years. It's one thing to have lost my material belongings that can be replaced like my computer, video game consoles and such, but I lost irreplaceable things like the memory box I started when I was 7, my childhood photos, and all the dolls my dad had given me throughout the years. My dad has been gone 5 years now, and those dolls are something I wish, if nothing else, I could have saved. Edit. Thank you everyone for sharing and such. Yes, my mom did move with me to my stepdad's. She left all our things behind so she wouldn't draw suspicion, I guess. I didn't cry when I found out one of my friends from high school killed himself. It was almost half a year ago and not one tear has leaked yet. I knew him for years. We took our black belt tests together, and I was the stage manager for the high school theater and he did lighting. I had to break the news to so many people, and yet I felt no sadness. As a guy who attempted the same thing not a year previously, I'm still frustrated at my lack of emotion towards it all, especially when I see our friends posting about how much they still miss him this year. My mother just kicked a hole in the wall. I'm on Reddit trying to calm down since none of my friends are awake. Whenever I'm alone with my own thoughts, I can shift moods in legitimate seconds. 1 second I'll be dancing around my room super happy, and the next moment I'll be bawling on the floor hating myself. It's a literal emotional roller coaster. I think my dad could be struggling with something. He's a pretty reserved guy who keeps to himself most of the time and likes to be alone often. The fear of dying has overran my life for at least 9 years. My anxiety disorder is more severe than I let on. When I am alone, it is pure hell.